For millions of people fleeing conflict, the question, where do I go? Well, it's literally a matter of life and death. And right now, in 2026, the old maps that used to point to safety, they're being completely redrawn. The safe havens you thought you knew, they're just not a guarantee anymore.
Hey, welcome. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into this massive shift. We're going to pinpoint the actual safe spots left on the map for 2026, and, maybe more importantly, show you the incredible challenges people face just trying to get there.
And the stakes here, they're just immense. We're talking about a global need for resettlement estimated at 2.5 million people. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is a massive, massive demand for safety in a world that, frankly, is quietly but very quickly closing its doors.
So that really gets to the heart of the problem, right? The need for a safe place has never been higher, but the paths to get there are just narrowing. So what actual options are even left on the table in 2026?
All right, let's get into it. First up, what we're calling the 2026 Refugee Shuffle. Because look, to really understand where people are going, you first have to grasp where they can't go and why all the old ideas about seeking asylum just don't really hold up anymore.
And, right away, we need to tackle a huge misconception. We see it in the media all the time, this focus on refugees traveling to the West. But the reality? It's completely different. Just look at this. A full 2/3, 66% of displaced people find their first refuge right next door. If you remember one thing, remember this. It's the most important piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so let's dig into that 66%. What does that actually mean? Well, these neighboring countries are basically the world's first responders in a crisis. They offer that immediate safety net. But, and this is a big but, that safety often comes with an expiration date.
Just look at the reality on the ground here. You've got countries like Turkey, Jordan, and Iran hosting millions of people providing life-saving protection. But then you see the challenges, the risk of deportation, serious overcrowding, systems strained to the breaking point. They are under an incredible amount of pressure. And for a lot of refugees, that means these places are just a temporary stop, not a forever home.
So all that pressure? That's what pushes the other 34% to start looking further away, usually towards the West. But what are they finding when they look? Well, it's not open doors. It's new walls, some you can see, and a whole lot you can't.
And this timeline, it tells a really clear story. There was a brief period after 2021 where things opened up a bit, but then the door started closing again. Now, the date you really need to pay attention to is June 2026. That's when the EU's new pact on migration kicks in, and it's going to bring in much stricter border rules. It's basically designed to be a bureaucratic gauntlet for anyone trying to get in.
So this all creates a really dangerous trade-off. What are your options? Well, on one side, you've got irregular travel, which is incredibly dangerous, full of blocked borders and pushbacks. And on the other side, you've got the legal pathways, which are a total bottleneck. We're talking only about 120,000 spots a year, globally, with waits that can go on for years. It's a truly impossible choice for so many.
Okay, so despite all of these huge challenges, there are still a few legal doors that are, cracked open. So let's shift gears and look at the top-tier places that still offer a real path to a long-term, stable solution.
First up, let's talk about Germany. For a while now, it's been a leader in the EU. It has a high recognition rate, especially for Afghans, and some really solid integration programs. But, and this is super important, it's not immune to those new EU-wide rules we just talked about. Those are absolutely going to change how things work, even in Germany. Then you've got Canada. What makes Canada stand out is its private sponsorship model, which is pretty unique. It means regular people, community groups, can directly help and support refugees. Now, there are only about 29,500 spots for 2026, so it's really competitive, but it's a fantastic option, great safety record, and a very clear path to citizenship. And finally, let's look at New Zealand. Now, this is a much smaller program, and it's super selective. It's based on referrals from the UN. But wow, what a program. It's one of the safest countries in the world, and the level of support it offers for the small number of people who get in is just incredible. It's definitely a high-quality, if small, option. And this brings me to a really crucial idea. Seeking asylum isn't the only way. There's something called complementary pathways. Basically, it means using regular immigration channels. Think student visas, work visas, or family visas. For anyone who can actually qualify for one of these, it's a total game changer. It's a much, much safer alternative to those dangerous, irregular journeys. But let's be real. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this one stark fact. The
The global need for safe places just absolutely dwarfs the number of available spots. The supply simply cannot keep up with the demand. It's one of the biggest challenges we face.
So, all of this leaves us with a pretty heavy question to think about, doesn't it? In a world where borders just keep getting tighter, both physically and legally, what does the phrase safe haven even mean anymore?